meeting, for Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Roll call, please.
Davis. Present. Salee. Watts.
Present.
Pearson.
Here.
Flagg.
Here.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Here.
Madam President, we have a quorum.
Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin our meeting, will you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 6, update on recent network attack by an outside party.
Mr. Benson.
Good afternoon. Dr. Simpson, I thought it'd be a good idea if we just did a basic rundown of where we are and how we got here. So, on September 16th, Trevor walks in the office, logs into his computer, recognizes looks like something like one of the virus attacks, unplugs his computer. When I come in, he tells me that story. I go log into my computer. Looks like Windows updates coming across it. When it boots, there's nothing left on the desktop. It's all gone. So we head for the server room. First thing we see is an account in a server that should not be there. So at that point in time, we pulled the plug. And we basically isolated ourselves from the rest of the district, which it took down phones, everything, but it was better than infecting the whole district. So at that point, we had to remove the servers from the network because every one of them had that account on it. And that's how we eventually determined if a computer was infected or not, is it had that user's account on it. We got all those back down. We replugged the fiber, got the phone communications back up. Then we went to the affected user's computer, the affected account. Dr. Simpson and I went there, found no evidence of the virus there, so it's still only in my office. I made a phone call to Oklahoma City to their executive director of IT, asked him what they did when it happened to them. He sent me through OMES to a group called the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center. And basically they're a big cyber group that studies these kind of things. So shortly thereafter, we had a conference call and talked to them. They asked some questions and set us up a site where we could upload logs and files from the servers. That's how we got in and identified this as ransom.trolldish. That's the name of the virus, also known as Shade. So it looks like it entered our network through an open remote desktop port that was in there for an old web server. When we used to host videos, the board videos on it, that's where it was. And it just hadn't been closed in the firewall. So far, there's only the 3 machines and the servers that we have found that have been infected, and those have all been in the IT office, nothing outside of there. This attack mirrors an attack that was made on a Tulsa area school. Same thing, Monday morning, took out all their servers. In their case, it happened right before school started, but same type of thing. We got all the offices back online by the next day, and we had all the teachers back online, just teacher computers, by that following Sunday. We had a little extra help. Sherilyn LeGrand, Justin Stevens, and John Benson helped clear computers, labs, so we can speed this process up a little bit. Currently, we're working on getting the rest of the student computers back online. Those are the ones in the classrooms. The labs we've already done. What we're doing here this afternoon is we want to make sure that we don't have something living on our network, which the Tulsa area school did, and we want to make sure that we have a third party come in and verify that we've taken every precaution we can to prevent it. It's like anything else, you're not 100%, but you want to do the best you can. So that's what we're proposing tonight. Any questions?
One of the things that I would add in this, we didn't really know what we were dealing with until we got further along. And as we got further along, Dee and his staff, when they determined what we were dealing with, that's when we started looking at who has experienced this. And we de-solicited with the firms that had been recommended to us for doing this work, so that we got quality firms to help us with our network. And we had 3 responses to this, and so that progression, when you think about how, we would have ideally have done this the day after, but it wasn't really possible. And what we don't know, we believe that files have been corrupted, but we do not know if they have been compromised. And so that is the key element here with this firm that we're going to recommend at the next agenda item.
So we saw it was contained within your building, the IT building.
Yes.
But no student records or personal information that we know of was.
We don't know of any of that got out. And all of our current student information, all of our current financials are in the cloud. It touched nothing there.
Okay.
So we've made that move 18 months ago to get everything pushed toward the cloud. So we had a little bit more security in those areas.
Good.
Good thinking.
So they're going to go over in their scope of work, which I scanned it, on future, are they going to work with us on things that we can set in place to protect us going forward?
Yes, they'll give us a report of all the things that they have looked at and recommendations of what we can do, close this, use this tool differently. We've already done some of that in our own office. We used remote desktop quite extensively on the servers. That's how Greg or I would get into one to work on one. And we're going to change that and use a different piece of software just so we don't have to use it anymore.
Will the cybersecurity that we're looking at, will they be able to determine the origin on this?
They think they can. We think we know what came in that one server. The IP on the server that was affected is the same IP we were using for the web server. So we're pretty sure we know where it came in at, but we want them to tell us for sure this is where it started.
And the board members, I think, are aware, but I want to reiterate that our insurance policy will cover retrieval and recovery of files with a $10,000 deductible. And so that's one of those things where, that's why you have insurance.
But it doesn't apply anything to this third party, correct?
Third party.
This that we're having come in,
No, that party will do the Arete. They are the ones that are going to do the retrieval,
Okay.
recovery. That's what the scope of work is for. And then they are also going to monitor, or they recommend 2 months following that. And their cost for all of that is in the estimate, and these are estimates. But again, that's the next agenda item, so I don't want to jump ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Dee, for explaining in layman's terms. Thank you, yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, and thank you for your quick response.
Yes.
They,
Very much.
Dee and his staff put in countless hours to try and get our systems up in a triaged manner of the things that were most important for operation of the school and to have it secure. And you know, the other thing that I appreciate is our teachers being very understanding and cooperative because their classroom was disrupted quite a bit with this. You know, it's not, we do essentially so many functions online now, such as just lunch counts and attendance and things such as that. So,
That's all appreciated.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the cost of doing business today.
it is.
So, any other discussion? Okay, agenda item number 7, recommendation, consideration, and action to enter into an agreement with a vendor to provide network assessment, recovery, and monitoring, subject to the execution of a contract approved by legal counsel.
The documents that you have in front of you, it started with this was a response to our RFP, and then this morning we met with an attorney from Rosenstein, Fist, and Ringgold, and we went over this to tailor it more toward Guthrie Public Schools than the generic that came from the company. And there are some things that we made changes on, and the clean document that you have in front of you is what we have submitted to Arete, and they have this afternoon gotten back to us an email and said it was acceptable from them. And I think that was since I had emailed you guys with the documents. So it is now, both parties agree that it's an executable document. Again, the pricing on the scope of work those are estimates based on what, so much of the time I go back to analogies for construction, but this is a renovation. This is not a new build. And so there are potential unforeseen circumstances, but this is what these folks do. I would recommend to the board that they accept this agreement, and I don't believe, based on the conversations that we had this morning and then hearing back from Arete, that we will have any modifications to this agreement.
And they will get started as soon as the approval.
As soon as we can get the document executed to them, and we can get going.
You said it'll all be remotely.
That's what we believe. We don't believe there will be any travel expense.
Where are they from? Are they out of?
New York.
And we have visited with a school that has used this area.
Every group that we went to either did the Tulsa area school or did Oklahoma City school.
And everybody was super pleased.
That was great.
Dr. Simpson, as far as insurance covering the retrieval and recovery on this, if they do any consultation as far as updating or improving our system, I mean, is that going to be blended in insurance, or are we going to have to cover that out of pocket?
We believe that would be part of the scope of what they're doing with the final report, because part of their function is to provide us with a report at the end.
Madam President, I make a motion, we enter into an agreement with Arete Advisors to provide network assessment, recovery, and monitoring subject to the execution of a contract approved by legal counsel, which I understand has been approved by our legal counsel.
Second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item number 8. Motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.